So, on the flip side, right? So, they all talked about young professional, or once they get into the, market and they start working. So, Karthik, how does Vishwakarma in Essential prepare its students to, kind of develop a personal brand, or a kind of a profile in themselves before even they graduate, so that when they come to the industry, it is not like, it's a root shock or something.
Yeah. So to build a brand, first a person needs to have some content, right? I mean, so what happens is universities and colleges, we get 17-year-old, 18-year-old kids who are just out of school, literally 12th standard. So traditionally, colleges only taught courses and ensured that assessments were there and gave them a CGPA and sent them out. In the recent past, we have realized that just teaching, and which is there anyway, but only doing that is not going to be enough, because also we realize that most of the stuff that we teach, a lot of it is there online as well. So what is it that we are specially adding to their brand? So this is a question that we have been thinking about since the last 10 years, and we came up with some initiatives. I would like to say one thing is, we have made it mandatory from first year engineering. Every student should have at least one publication in a year. So, okay, we understand that they may not have done so much work immediately to publish. So in first year it may not be, but what we have also done is, in every year there is a course specially which is called as a project course, where the student has to do a project which can involve all the courses that they are studying, right? And maybe something more also which they haven't even studied in that semester. And we also have a course called research methodologies, which is generally, previously it used to be taught in MTech or PhD programs, but we started that from first year engineering itself, to tell them about how to publish. So like some of them, Matangi was talking about, she's written books, and Ashutosh was saying about communication skills. So one type of communication which students need to do is written communication, how to write properly. Baltic is of course to write mails and other things, but even when you have to write a paper, and because this is a course which has credits, this project and a publication which is mandatory for a student every year, we mandate that they should have it published minimum in what is called as a Scopus indexed conference or journal. That's some kind of a standard. So over the period of 3-4 years, every student ends up at least with 3 publications in a Scopus indexed journal, conference, etc. Which, and then you have to go there and present also. So it's not only written, but then it's oral as well, and you have to answer questions when you are asked, etc. So this has been a very core part of our initiative since the last 5-6 years, and it's working pretty well, I would say, because students were like, hey, this is like only a master's or a PhD student would write a paper. Why are you asking undergraduate kids to write papers and go to conferences? But we said, no, you look at it positively, it's going to benefit you. So students have taken it positively. So that is one thing in brand building exercise. And also we emphasize a lot on participation on hackathons. We kind of very actively encourage. We host hackathons in colleges. There are companies which are ready to host as well, and we co-host them. Our students go. So if any student wishes to go for a hackathon, and be it anywhere in India, we are the first to sponsor and ensure that the student goes. So and good number of students have been participating, and so these are all ways in which they build the brand, besides of course GitHub and LinkedIn, and ensuring that all that gets reflected. But the point is, a student in those 4 years in a college or a university needs to do things that will eventually become a brand, which will add to it. The content has to be there. Otherwise, it cannot be that without a content just to show something, right? So we are trying to emphasize on that. And also another thing we did was sign up with several foreign universities for a semester exchange program. So one semester student goes abroad, maybe Germany, Canada, Singapore, South Korea. These are 4 places where there are certain universities with which we tied up for that. So students go there, spend a semester, and come back. So many such initiatives we believe help in improving the brand of the student. So when they come out, and besides the internship as well, which is as I said earlier, a year-long internship in final year. And another thing we did is, because when we started the year-long internship, there were questions about, okay, then what about courses in college? So what we did, we signed up with Coursera and gave a professional license, Coursera license, to every student in college in third year and final year, and said that every student has to do minimum 2 professional certifications. It can be Salesforce, and there also we didn't say that you need to do only this or this. We gave them a bucket of 30-40, said that you choose what you want, because it's personal brand building. You may be interested in something very specific, and so that only becomes their course in final year. So our students who are interning in Bangalore entire year, they have to do some coursework also, right? So the coursework is the Coursera courses, which they sit here only as they're interning on the weekend. They will do those courses, and the marks they get in that certification, they will submit that to the college. That will get reflected on their grade sheet. So we have been trying many things like this to ensure that some value comes up ultimately. So that at the end of 4 years, the student sits to write a resume or post something on LinkedIn about their profile. There is something to write what you did, content. So that's been our focus or journey. It's still work in progress. We are open to ideas to increase in this direction.
Got it. Got it. It's interesting to note, at Vishwakarma, what to my surprise, right? So the way the program is structured is that, let's say basics of data science is an elective that you give to a student in the fourth semester, and then you set up a center of excellence. You give them a Python console, you give them an Informatica console, you give them all the fancy consoles that you work on in the center of excellence. They come and do your industry projects. When I say industry projects, there might be 100 things that you want to do, but you have a budget or a team only to do 20 things. The other 80 things you kind of give it as problem statements or use cases to the college, and the students work with an academic mentor to ensure that is done. And then there is an industry mentor who kind of oversees that. And by the end of third year, they've worked on 2 or 3 industry projects that is very specific to your company or your industry. And then the fourth year, they join you for a full year internship like a full time employee. So they are at your office and all of that. And once the fourth year is done, they join you as a fresher with 2 years of experience, but at a fresher salary. So it's kind of a win-win-win kind of a situation where you are getting somebody who's experienced, so there is no stickiness problem, and then the college ensures that they are placed so that the future of the student is a little secured, and then the student is also ensured of a job, and that's something he likes and he has worked on it for the last 2 years. So there is no the concept like you say you end up in something and then you don't know whether you like it or not, and then you keep hopping and all of that. That also is kind of eliminated. So this is what they kind of do. And that's it. So probably you are telling he's giving them all the blocks to build their personal brand. So probably with whatever you guys said, they can. So they are the bricks. So building the brand would probably